Okay guys, we're back out here. This video is for everybody, but this video is for 805Roadking Everett and small engine mechanic Mike. I presented them with a problem and they're going to help me with a solution. And you hear that? That had to be a good $8 grand. I thought that was you pulling in the driveway.
Huh?
Did you hear that car?
No.
Okay, back to the problem at hand. Here we go. I'm only concerned about 2 distributors, but I have this one here because the gear's on it. You hear it again? Huh. Sounds like they're trying to puke this thing. Crap. I ain't getting no more out of that than that. Okay. Back to the video. Again. Man, they're just gonna do it. I wish I was there when the pistons come out of it. Okay, here's the dilemma. I'll show things with the micrometer in a minute. This is the XL dual point distributor we've been working on. This is the MSD unit. Okay. I have a brand new gear over there that's identical to this. This gear fits every AMC distributor known to man. This is what they start with. So if it's a factory one, an MSD, a Mallory, the GM style, the Ford style distributor, this is what it takes. Okay. It slips on, and there's where it's lined up. So you have no height adjustment on it. I mean, you have a little shim or a little washer just to set end plate, but you have no height. When you buy a new one of these, it only comes with one hole. It doesn't come with a hole on the other side. So you put it in, you tap the pin until it lines up, you take it out, and then you drill it through the other side. I guess that's to assure that the hole is going straight through this thing. That's the only reason. But here's what's key to me. The top of this hole to the top of this gear is the measurement. Okay, now look at this one right here. I ain't worried about the bottom. The bottom is just a collar that goes around here, and here's the tang that drives the oil pump. So that can hang down to here, it doesn't matter. That measurement means nothing to me. The most important measurement is the top of this roll pin hole to the top of here, the top of this roll pin hole to the top of there. That's it. Because this hole in relation to here is unchangeable. So if I put this on this shaft, even without that spacer, the gear is going to land in the right spot, except the shaft will have massive amount of play. So originally, I'm going to sit down. Originally, I figured I would take one of these, one of the crappy ones, and I'd cut it and have it end faced, okay, till it was the correct diameter, correct distance from the top of this hole to the top of here, and then use that little collet on top of the new gear, and then slip it all back on and drive the roll pin in, because either that space is going to be too loose and the shaft will walk, or it'll be too tight and I won't get the roll pin in. The bottom line is I am not adjusting the height of the gear. That's all predetermined. I'm just making a bushing. Okay, and obviously the bushing would be the same diameter, it would sit on there nice and would all be good. Okay, and since this thing is, I would have to measure it, I'm going to say 1.25 inches long, and it sits on there snug, that there's no chance of this thing wobbling, even if the new piece you put on even even if when you faced it off was slightly angled, because you're not pressing up against it, and it's not riding on there. But it'd be nice for the other side to be perfectly flat, because the MSD distributor uses a brass washer and brass bushings. The XL uses a little roller bearing, a little Torrington bearing, and saying to you guys the difference. Okay, so needless to say, when I saw this gear, I was like, oh, we're done. Okay, because this gear is no longer made. I can't even get a part number for it. Okay, and if I did, there's always that slim chance that the hardness compatibility to the MSD gear I just put inside his engine wouldn't be right. Now this gear is almost absolutely mint. You can just see the slight pattern on it, and the teeth are nice and wide, and they're parallel. This one here, on the other hand, is shot, and it's almost thin as a razor in the center. So this gear is actually shot. This would make a nice collar. So here's where the problem lies. I'm working on this yesterday, and this distributor's not even here. I got the new gear, which is wrapped in tape right now, and I'm looking at it, and I go, just for shits and giggles, let me measure the diameter of the bore. The MSD, as well as the factory gear, is 0.487, so it's 487 thousandths. Okay, and so is every other shaft. Axle made it exactly 500 thousandths half inch. Okay, so I'll use an example. This is the only way I could actually show you. If I take the Excel gear and put it on here, it rocks. It shouldn't rock. It should be almost like a slight finger press fit. Okay, it rocks. Because there's a difference in 13 thousandths. As opposed to if I put this gear back on, you're actually putting it on with finger pressure. Okay, so obviously this gear will not fit the XL shaft. So now here's where my options lie. Okay, we could take the new gear, which this isn't obviously, and I could hone it out to 500 thousandths nicely, centered, done professionally. Okay, and then I could take that gear, slip it on here with a little spacer, and away we go. Here's the problem. These gears mate to each other just like a rear end. That means I am stuck with that distributor forever. If, on the other hand, I take the distributor shaft and the lower end of it, have it turned down to this size, I could take the gear off this and put it on here in the future, vice versa, and just keep going. And I'm not limited, and I still have my gear that's matched to my other gear, and that's really the most important. So I haven't measured it yet, but you could see that it's, let me turn it a little to the side. You can see it's tall here. It steps down where the dowel is and steps back up. I'll bet you where it steps down is the same diameter as a factory AMC. I just got that feeling. Now, measurements will definitely have to be taken. I will not tell anybody how to do it, because they're definitely wiser than I am when it comes to this. But how I would think one of the ways of doing it would be to just machine enough of the shaft, and then say like 20 thousandths higher than it, to slip the new gear on, and then the upper part of the shaft just leave it the full width, because we got bearings we got to deal with, leave it the full width, and then I could just take one of these gears and make the collet. So the collar will slip on, and then the new gear will slip on, and I'll pin it. And then down the road we could switch distributors either way. Okay, so the bottom line is he wants the tack drive. Okay, and the other bottom line is I don't know how long I would like to deal with the points. It might be something that I don't have to deal with often, or something that might become a total pain in the ass. So if I take a gear, now bear in mind these gears are expensive. The 2 gears cost us $150. So if I take the gear and I hone it to the half inch, put it on there, and they make me the collet, okay, if I want to switch the MSD distributor, I got to take the engine back apart and switch the other gear again. So I don't know which is worse, the money or the labor. I think it's the labor, because you saw what I had to do it outside here. So basically what's going to happen at this point is I'm going to open up this distributor and pull the shaft out. I've had this one opened. Okay, and basically you pop out the gear and the shaft slides right out of the thing. Okay, and that little thing with the bumps for the cam, for the lobe, that comes off of the snap ring. So there's plenty of areas to chalk this thing up before you hit the weights. Or further, I really don't know how to do it. That's why I'm making the video. I don't know if you could have it sticking out that far and still make it accurate. I'm assuming the shaft would be perfectly straight. This one, the only difference is going to be is I'm going to have to screw out the tack drive setup and do the same thing. So basically, in a nutshell, what I'm looking to have done is have this shaft turned down to the 480 something, whatever it is. I'll send the gear thousands, a hair bit above where this gear stops, and then just machine this, nip this off and make it a collar. And whatever the free play was when we started, just as long as we're within that ballpark, we're good. And that's it. That was a lot of talking for something. I'm not saying the job is easy. It's not easy, but it's a lot of talking for something, for what I want done, because I explained it two different ways. But I explained why the easier way, which would probably be chalking this thing up rigid and then or spinning it and then coming in with the bit to hone it to a 1/2 inch, would be the better way if this was the piece that was always going to be in the car no matter what. But I can't guarantee that. Okay guys, this is a look at the MSD shaft. If you look at it quick, you can see a machine where it's machined. This right here is a 1/2 inch. Then they step it down for the gear. So this is the 1/2 inch XL gear. When you put it on, well, this would be backwards. Well, it'll never go the right way because gear rocks all over the place. As soon as I put it above there, we're good to go. So basically what you're looking at here is what I needed done to the other shaft. We're looking to take the shaft from this 1/2 inch diameter to this right here. Okay. I will be providing a shaft for measurements to be taken off of, not this shaft. Okay, I'm going to use the dial indicator. And no, this is not super high tech. This is Harbor Freighter. But let's just get a rough idea of what we're even talking about, looking at it like this. Okay. Zero this bad boy out. And stuff like this, I usually use caliber. There you go, 1/2 inch, right on the money. 499, 1/2 inch. There you go, 499. So 1/1000th clearance. Okay, because when I measure inside the gear, it's 500 thousandths. Okay, now here's what they machine it down to. MSD. We have 489. And I will tell you, the gear is stiff on the MSD one. Getting it on and off. 490. 488.5. That's why this gear is so stiff to get on and off this one. 489. So I'm gonna get the new gear and let's see how it fits. Okay, this gear goes on just like that other one I took off. Came off. Okay, and I made sure before I tried this that there was no burrs here and there was no sharp edges on the flat sides of the shaft. And it takes a little force to get it on. I don't know if they're all that tight. I don't think they are. I don't remember the ones on the factory shaft being quite that snug. You should be able to just push it on. it's the best way I could describe it is it should push on and off, pretty much like a piston pin fit, like if you're working on a small engine. You should know that there's no clearance, but you should feel the slight resistance as you're pushing it in with thumb pressure. That's the way I've seen them. Okay, so here it is in a nutshell. There's an Allen key in here. This flat part does not come off, but the piece with the weights and this collar and all that comes off. And then it's this shaft up to about right here. So this lobe will be gone. This upper piece will be gone. As far as I can tell, the upper piece will be gone. The weights will be gone. But this piece is permanently hooked to here from as far as I can tell. I mean, if it isn't, it isn't. Let's just assume it is. Is that too long of a stick out? I'd have to get my tape measure. Right here we go. Is that too long of a stick out to machine? It should be perfectly straight. Let's just assume we're sticking out 7 1/4 total. And the object is where this gear would go, the furthest gear back. This is the brand new gear here. From this down to make it the diameter it is, which is like a difference in like 13 thousandths. And then from here up, I need a collar. Whoops, I need a collar to replicate this. So I guess technically whatever the measurement is from the top of this hole to here, I'll take the same measurement from here to here, and then add the difference or subtract or whatever it is and make it a little collar at the original thing. I guess using this stock, that's the question. So I don't know if I've overcomplicated it or not. This is the shaft from the other distributor. I didn't take apart the tack drive one first. I want to make sure it's doable before I take that thing apart. If this was a Chevy, I would just run this gear. This gear is, like I said, as close to mint as possible. But AMC just has those problems. So I want to be able to switch this gear from distributor to distributor. So, okay guys, I'm going to wrap this gear back up so I don't drop it. And I'll be out $75. And here's the assortment of gears that we got. They're all different. The most amazing gear is the one that was on the MSD distributor, which is almost totally worn out. And without even miking it, which I did already, you could see the hole, the distance from the hole to here. Watch as I spin it. I don't know if you guys could pick up on it, but if I turn it like this, the hole is drilled on an angle. Whoever drilled it. Okay? I measured the shaft from the bottom of the hole to here on both sides on the MSD shaft, and they're dead on. So I don't know. Someone must have been having a real bad day when they did this. So okay guys, I'm out of here. And thanks again, and if it's not doable, that's fine also. So, like I said, I'll upload the video, you guys let me know. And that's it. If you guys think it's doable, I'll package it up, send it, and then we take care of business. And we'll leave it at that. And thanks again, guys, for even considering offering to help. So, and just check out my new air cleaner. Ooh, that's going to be a new trend starting next week.